Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Earth Twister, and I'm excited to be bringing you a little bit different of a video today. See, normally on my channel, I end up doing a lot of gameplay videos, which I enjoy doing and love doing. But today, I have entered into a limited environment draft tournament. And for this specific tournament, it is Season 2. Now, that's important for you to know because in Season 1, they have done all the testing already that they were wanting to do to iron out all the rules and the kinks. And of course, Season 2 is going to have a few of those as well. But Season 1 was Jason Sketch, Abis Mal from MC Deck Discussions, Nem Jeff from Facing the Encounter, and TheMarvelChampion. Now, they are the four that came up with the idea, they've developed the idea, and they started this tournament. They played through Season 1 by themselves, and now we are in Season 2, where we are going to begin expanding the pool of players and getting a chance to enjoy it with more people. Now, the way that they decided to do it this time is keeping the player count to 4, but doing it into separate pods. So right now there are 2 pods where there are 4 players in each, and each of those is going to compete against each other. And eventually, once everything has been said and done within those pods, we are then going to move on and play those in the other pod in a finals sort of phase. So the first thing you do is playoffs. You are in your pod and you play to get a certain number of points. Each win gives you 10 points, -1 for every threat, every minion, and every encounter side scheme in play. Every threat on the main specifically. So the minimum you can get for winning is 4 points. If you lose, you get 3 points. So you're really wanting to get as many points as you possibly can to outscore the rest of those in your pod so that you can move on to the finals phase, where then you will take your drafted environment into the finals phase and face off with people from the other pod or pods if there is one. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun. I know some of you, and myself included when it was first announced, we were not too enthusiastic about the environments. My thinking initially was that with the announcement of the current environment, they just weren't going to care at all about the legacy environment. They were just going to be like, you know what, you can have all the cards if you want them, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to even consider them anymore. Well, that's the way I felt. But now, as they introduced the limited environment, I've become a lot more enthusiastic about it all. I feel like with the current environment, it gives you a good opportunity to test out new heroes against maybe new villains or even against older villains. But then it also, once you've tested the hero out in the current environment, you can then build them into the legacy environment and build them how you feel like you could get them to build and work really well in the legacy environment. And the limited environment for me is for, of course, those who are working on going to and trying to get the entire collection, who have some from the legacy and have some from the current, but just aren't quite there yet. Or it's also for those who want to challenge themselves a little bit and try to build and limit themselves with what they can use to build their decks. For me personally, with the legacy environment, I tend to rely on a select few cards. When I want to build with a certain hero in a certain aspect, I choose specific cards to build with them, and those decks sort of become same old, same old. For me, the legacy environment is going to give me the opportunity to try out cards that I would never have done so before. And doing it in a tournament forces me to choose specific hero packs just because I wasn't able to choose them because somebody else chose them before me. Now, with that being said, this is how the draft went. We did a serpentine draft, and I was the last of our 4 to go. So what that means is that players 1, 2, and 3 all got to choose 1 pack or 1 expansion before me. And then I got to choose 2 and we started going backwards, going me and then 3, 2, 1. And then 1 got to choose 2 and all the way back to me to choose 2 again. And it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. We had a little bit of drama as some people wanted certain hero packs. But the rules also for this were that we had to choose 8 hero packs and only 2 expansion boxes. We also were not allowed to choose our expansion boxes one after the other. We had to wait at least 1 round before we could choose them again. Now, what I'm popping up on the screen here is, of course, my picks for the draft. And as I said, I was the last of 4, so each of the ones I got to pick were basically in pairs with each other. So the first one, of course, was Mutant Genesis. And I chose Mutant Genesis because I wanted to pool some X-Men heroes. Specifically, I knew I was going to be pooling Jubilee. So with Mutant Genesis, I knew I was going to get some of the supports I wanted, like X-Jet and Professor X to help with Confuse and with readying. That was a good choice on my part because somebody else chose the other X-Men box that I wanted, Age of Apocalypse, and made things a little bit more complicated. Now, with Mutant Genesis, I was able to get Colossus and get some great protection support there, and I was also able to get Shadowcat and get some great aggression support. Then that landed me into being able to choose my favorite hero, probably of the entire game, which has been Jubilee. I find her to be very powerful and very consistent in how she performs, and I really just enjoy playing her a lot. She's just a lot of fun to me, and so I chose Jubilee. After the rest of the people went back through and got to choose their next few hero kits and boxes, I ended up choosing Nightcrawler and Nova. And again, both of those were mostly to support Jubilee. And for that reason, I chose Nightcrawler for the Change of Fortune and Riposte cards that he comes with, and I chose Nova for the Hone Technique card. Now, what I ended up doing, though, as I built the deck, is I realized that I didn't have a whole ton of aggression support that I really liked for Jubilee using Hone Technique, but I did get a lot of support that I liked for the Change of Fortune build. So I decided to go ahead and build a protection deck for Jubilee that I am very excited to use because I think there's just going to be a lot of great things that are going to happen in that game. We'll just have to see. Now, Nightcrawler I did decide to use as well, and I'm really excited to be using him. I haven't played him a whole ton, and I really haven't played Nova a whole lot either, so I do need to dig him out at some point. I just don't think I got the right support for him in this environment that I needed, though I may work on building a deck for him if I continue on to the finals. So we'll just have to see. After Nightcrawler and Nova, I wanted to get a little more support for protection and aggression, so I decided to get Galaxy's Most Wanted, and I decided to get a little more Guardian support, so I chose to get Venom as well because I love Venom. He's a pretty solid and consistent character as well, and he's just a great all-arounder. I love, for some reason, the heroes that generate energy resources as a hero ability, or not energy resources, but resources as an ability on their card. I guess it just makes me happy. Of course, then I needed to get a little more aggression support, and I thought I needed to get some more justice support, so I chose both Wolverine and Nebula as my next two picks. Nebula, of course, fit naturally with the Guardians, and so I was able to get a little support with her. She also came with a great card, one way or another, so I'm going to be able to get some great card draw there. Wolverine, of course, for the aggression support, but also specifically because of Weapon X. Now, with the Weapon X card, it allows you take a damage, and then you go through your cards, you discard until you get an identity-specific event and add it to your hand. That is really helpful for Jubilee, especially if I'm looking for something specific for her to be able to get. So I decided to get that support for Jubilee, and I'm also going to add in the X-Mansion in that deck so that I can go ahead and heal up that damage that she took. So I think that's going to be a really great support there for Jubilee. Again, I may not see Wolverine in play in this limited environment tournament, but he is another one that I do need to sit down and play some more. Hercules and Cyclops. Those were two picks that I chose because I, at this point, needed some serious leadership support. There's a severe lack of leadership heroes in this limited environment, and I needed to get some leadership cards stat. And of course, both Hercules and Cyclops have some pretty decent leadership cards. I wanted to get Avenge Me for any leadership builds that I make, so that way I can be using my allies not only to protect me, but also to benefit me more with card draw. Cyclops I also wanted so that I could get the extra X-Men supports to be able to help out Jubilee, like Utopia, and I'm not sure if Moira McTaggart came in his kit or not, but he comes with some great supports, and I really appreciate having him in this card pool so that I'm able to support my X-Men heroes much, much better. Now, I'm excited about this limited environment. It is pretty X-Men heavy. There are a few Guardians and a Champion and one Avenger, which was actually a great pick because I do have access to the core heroes. And so if I wanted to build with any of those Avengers, I also now have the Quinn Carrier, access to the Quinn Carrier through Hercules. So I'm able to build pretty much however I want to in support of the heroes that I have. I am really excited about this limited environment draft, and I hope that you guys will follow along. I will be playing in a pod to start with Proofrock, who is a not a content creator as far as I'm aware. He at least will not be uploading videos or recording any of the videos. He will just be recording the stats that he makes for the games. But I'll also be going up against the Chumpions from the Chumpion podcast in my pod. In the other pod, in pod 1, so there's 2 pods right now, I will be going up against Abis Mal from NC Deck Discussions, my name Jeff from Facing the Encounter, Stegy, and Munkey from Sword of Board. Now, I'm really looking forward to this again, like I said, and I hope that you guys will follow along with me and with all these other creators, who I will go ahead and link down in the description below. Feel free to check them out, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned and stay twisty.